Fortunate to have the musical talent that we do in this group. So thank you so much, Carol. Beautiful. And now, speaking of talent, I'd like to bring to the stage Ms. Lori Jean Hunt.
Good morning. Can you hear me? So I'm so excited to be here. Thank you, Carol, and the music team. Thanks, Anne, for being my sidekick here. Carol asked me a few weeks ago what the title of my talk was going to be, and I hadn't really named it yet, so I just said, well, I'm going to talk about consciousness. And then before I could tell her that I was actually calling it Creating Heaven on Earth, she had picked out songs that had heaven in the title and one that she's going to sing later that's just really amazing. So what I want to talk about today, I'm going to get right into it, about consciousness, is this book right here. This old, tattered, worn-out book came to me 45 years ago. It was my grandmother's, and she'd had it for a long time. And literally over the next 4 decades, I can't tell you how many times I've read this book. She died when I was 15, and then a few years later, I got a box of some of her books and some of her writings. She was a writer as well, and from my cousin. And I really didn't look at anything much. I just kept them in a box. A couple years later, I moved out on my own, and I just put these books on my bookshelf in my bedroom. Well, one day I was on my knees praying, and it wasn't something I did a lot. I was out on my own for the first time. I had a lot of anxiety. All the responsibility was mine and everything. And so I was on my knees praying, and something startled me from behind, and a book fell off the shelf. And it was this book. And it wasn't a shelf where it could fall off easily either. And I picked it up, and there was no name on it anywhere. But on the spine, which you can no longer see because I've had to duct tape it over the years, because I literally have just about had this book fall apart. But on the spine, it said, "The Key to Power and Personal Peace." And I opened it up and just began devouring it, which is what I did over and over again. The book is all about consciousness, and it's all about what we definitely are very familiar with in Unity is, that the power of the mind can create anything, and that our beliefs can create anything. And so this book, copyrighted in 1954. So the book is 70 years old. And listen to how it starts. This is the age of uncertainty. This is the time of emotional upset and nervous instability. 70 years ago. Sound familiar? What am I? What caused me? Why am I here? Where am I going? These are the questions of the human soul that demand an answer. Their resounding echoes are in the offices of our psychiatrists, in our penal institutions, in our homes for the insane and depraved and wicked. Their anguished cries are on our battlefields, in our uprooted families, in every charred ember of every burned village and pillaged town that exists in the wake of the hordes of humanity who have cut off their ties from God and from hope and from divine reality. This was the first time that I had ever heard the law of attraction. But it isn't the first time I was ever familiar with the law of attraction. I just never heard it called that. I actually had heard it as a young child in the Bible when it says, "As you believe, so shall it be done unto you." And in Unity, we say, "Thoughts in mind produce after their kind." And so this was all like, I just devoured it because it made so much sense to me. But this is the part I really love. It says, "The truth lies in looking inward." 70-year-old book, remember. "So great is the newfound, newly recognized power of thought." Something that we're so familiar with now. "So great is the newfound, newly recognized power of thought that groups are organizing throughout the world, aiming at the creation of peace through thought power." What else is this but prayer? What else is this but the transmission of desire into the creative mind of the universe? Done correctly and with power, it must succeed. So this book, and then of course a few years after that, I found Unity and actually was introduced to Unity through Jack Boland. And so what is this consciousness, right? Because it's the first time I'd heard in this book universal consciousness, universal mind, one mind, new thought. So it was the first time I'd ever heard that. So what is this consciousness? And it actually, talks a lot about the global consciousness that we're all contributing to and how important it is. And so I just, lose my train of thought here for just a second. So the consciousness is, what is that? What measures that? How do we determine what consciousness is? Let alone positive consciousness, negative consciousness. So it's vibration, it's energy, it's frequency in our bodies. So what is it that raises my vibration or lowers my vibration? And our goal is to have a mostly positive vibration. I mean, we can't have it all the time, right? Because life happens and things happen. But really, the average, we want to try to have that vibration up. So on the good side of that vibration, of that consciousness, of course, it starts with love and everything that stems from that. So we have love, compassion, understanding, peace, joy, excitement, goals, hopes, dreams, all of that stuff. We're told that we need to become like little children to receive the kingdom. And what are little children are they talking about? Those giggling babies, those little toddlers, just that full of joy and excitement, just can't wait to go and learn and be. They just are just on the move, right? And they're high vibration. And then we raise our vibration around and we're getting that baby to smile and we're just wanting them to giggle and we're all happy and our vibration is good. We don't frown at that baby and say, oh, stop your crying, life is tough, get over it. No, we want to raise that vibration of that baby. And the universe doesn't recognize or rank the different levels from peace and contentment to exuberant accomplishments and big, huge life things. It just throws them all together in one big ball of white energy of love. And everything of like mind is attracted to that. And then it grows in the world. But what about that other side, that lower vibration, that lower energy, lower frequency? It starts with fear and everything that comes from that. Anxiety, frustration, negativity, judgments, criticisms, anger, all the way down to abuse, violence, and evil. And the universe doesn't rank those either, from simple fear to violence. It just groups it all into one big ball of negative, dark energy. And everything of like minds is attracted to that. So how do we contribute to that? So I haven't watched the bad news for over 30 years. I haven't drank for over 30 years either. And there's definitely a correlation there because the bad news, I'm a sensitive man, and that bad news, that made me want to drink. So I recognized that early on, that I really couldn't let the bad stuff in just because I was trying to stay sober. But then after a while, it started to where I realized how it affected my body. And I would actually get sick if I had too much negative, or if I lost my temper, or I got really mad about something, or whatever it is. It would take me down. My behavior had to get turned around. For me to try to be well, I had to recognize what was feeding that. So, you say, well, we have to know what's going on. I know what's going on. I hear what's going on. I know when there's another school shooting, and it breaks my heart that we have to say another school shooting. Or when something bad's happened in the world, or who the president is, or any of that stuff, I know. But it's not going to help me any to feed into that, to watch that, because what's happening is I'm lowering my vibration. We have never been in a time in our history where it's more important for all of us to look in the mirror and to pay attention to what kind of vibration we're putting out into the world. So as would be no coincidence, I happened to grab one of these little magazines, free magazines coming out of the store. Haven't done that for years, but it was very intentional. Just grabbed that, got it home. It's called Natural Awakenings. It's the August issue. It's a free magazine. So there's an article in here, and I'm going to massacre the names probably. They're Native American. but it's an article by Sandra Yeti, and it's on one of the Native American elders named Ilarion Merculif. I apologize if I didn't get that right. Ilarion Merculif is a passionate advocate for Indigenous rights and the harmonious relationship with Mother Earth. Merculif has chaired global climate change summits, led Indigenous gatherings for the healing of Mother Earth, participated in sacred ceremonies around the world, given keynote addresses at government conferences, and lectured about traditional ways of knowing to universities. He's written many articles and books. Sandra asked him, "Can you explain the Hopi saying, 'Seek not to fight evil, let goodness take its place'?" He said, "We are energy beings. When we focus our energy on stopping wars, political corruption, or the violation of women," now that sounds like a good thing, right? When we focus our energies on stopping wars, political corruption, or the violation of women, he says, we are taking our mental, physical, and spiritual energy and putting it into those things, which increases the power of the negative things that we're trying to stop. That's the vibration we have to pay attention to. If I'm watching something that lowers my vibration, makes me in fear, makes me scared, which is anything on the news right now, then I'm at a low vibration, and that's what I'm contributing to the consciousness. We have never been so neck to neck with good and bad. That's why it seems so crazy right now, because it's just prevalent. But make no mistake, there are so many good things going on in the world that you'll never see on the news. There are people that are on global warming, climate change, providing safe, clean water to places that never had it. Brooke can talk about the efforts that have changed Haiti. What we can do when we get together, there's those two guys that have cleaned up the ocean, cleanoceans.org. They started out, two guys cleaning up the oceans where everything lands. And now they have thousands and thousands of volunteers, and they are just cleaning this stuff up. So there is just a lot of good. So we don't want to put our energies into that, but what do we do instead? He says, the Hopi says, instead, just focus on the world you wish to see without reactions to anything else. And then we will see real change happen. When we are in alignment and in harmony with the vibrational field of Mother Earth, then we will have real impact. Even the smallest thing that you can do that is positive, that is not in reaction against anything, then that adds to this effect. And then, let's just hear a couple scriptures. Philippians 4:8, fix your thoughts on what is true and honorable and right and pure and lovely and admirable. Think about things that are excellent and worthy of praise. 2 Corinthians 4:18, we look not what can be seen, but what cannot be seen. For what can be seen is temporary, and what cannot be seen is eternal. Romans 12:2, do not be conformed to the world, but be transformed by the renewing of your minds, so that you may discern what is the will of God. And lastly, John 14:27, peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not let them be afraid. Wayne Dyer says that if you believe you live in a hostile world, you will live in a hostile world. If you believe you live in a peaceful world, you will live in a peaceful world. I think we got a little caught up with some bad things that happened pretty much from 9/11. And then I think we got sucker punched a little bit, and we got misguided a little bit on what our focus needs to be. So if we can focus on raising our vibration, it automatically raises the vibration of everyone around you. And what is the positive, Julie? The positive vibrations compared to the negative? How much more power does a positive thought have?
David Hawking said that one person can eliminate the negative vibrations. One person at high vibe can eliminate 70,000 negative vibrations.
Hello. So we're already ahead of the game, but all we need to do is look in the mirror and really, because I got sucked in a little bit too. So I think that we really, again, have to, monitor that vibration. And I really do believe that with that, we can create heaven on earth. And that leads me into how I want to end today. with a song it's one of my favorite songs. It's from Tracy Chapman. It's from her album New Beginning, and it's 30 years old. But once again, it's probably more pertinent today than it was even then. And the song is called Heaven's Here on Earth. And I've asked Bob to play it a little loud.
Heaven's here on earth. We are the spirit, the collective conscience. We create pain and suffering, beauty in this world. Heaven's here on earth. Our faith in humankind, and our respect for what is earthly. Altering belief, peace, love, understanding. Angels wearing the disguise. Ordinary people leading ordinary lives. Through love, passion, forgiveness, and sacrifice. Heaven's in our hearts. And our faith in humankind. And our respect for what is earthly. Altering belief, peace, love, understanding. Look around, believe in what you see. Kingdom is at hand, promised land is at your feet. Can come, but we aspire to be. Heaven's here on earth. If we have faith in humankind, and respect for what is earthly, and altering belief, the truth is divinity. Heaven's here on earth.
right, y'all, go out and raise your vibration. Love you.
Thank you, Lori Jean. What a powerful message. We need that. Thank you so much. Whoa. You know, we've been without a minister for 3 years, and I look out at this group. We are a community of volunteers, and we make it happen. I mean, it's just, my favorite word is amazing. I use it all the time. It's amazing to me that we're able to do what we've done, so thank you. Thank you for raising our vibration. And now is the time of our offering. It's the time to share our financial gifts with our ministry. As children of a loving God, we live in the light of abundance, deeply grateful for all that has been given and all that is to come. We embrace the good that God provides with joy and thanksgiving. Together, if we could say our prosperity blessing. I recognize the abundance of the universe and give thanks that fills my life.
1, 2, 3, 4. I am of that age looking back at my life, wishing I knew then what I know now. I would tell myself not to worry so much, and he'd have a way of working out. If you just slow down and see a little bit of heaven, it's in everyone, a little bit of heaven, like drops in the ocean, a little bit of heaven. It's in all we see, a little bit of heaven. It's in you and it's in me. I am of that age. I would have more faith in my life and myself. Make more time for family and friends. Looking back on life, I would take more chances and be my true self, and fall in love again and again. With everything I see, a little bit of heaven is in everyone, a little bit of heaven, like drops in the ocean, a little bit of heaven. It's in all we do, a little bit of heaven.
Will. Thank you. It's always so great. Oh, what a good gathering today. Thank you again. I want to welcome any first-time guests. I see a number of people here supporting Lori Jean. Welcome. Any other first-time guests? I know you're out there. We do have packets that are available if you'd like to know more about who we are, what we are, why we exist. Our ushers can share those with you in the back. We also have prayer chaplains available after the service. Typically someone's standing here, someone's out in the hallway. If you have a special personal prayer request, they are the ones that can help you fulfill that. It's a beautiful service to offer. And I just want to acknowledge the volunteers in this group. I mean, almost everybody sitting in this room is doing something to contribute to who we are and what we bring to this community. Even if you're only, well, that's not the way to say it. Well, I'll say it anyway. Even if you're just attending and you're not ushering or greeting or singing or speaking, if you're just attending, that's enough. That's enough, and that's wonderful. So again, thanks to all of you. And those people who are behind the scenes, the people that do our decorations, the people that fix our food for us, the people that come and do the grounds, pull the weeds. I mean, it's unending what we do. So now is the time to form our circle. Here we go. If there's anyone that you know of, or maybe don't know even personally, but anyone that you can think of that may need some additional prayers, some hope, some love, please feel free to either say their names into the circle or simply think them to yourself. But let's bless those people and bring them the hope that they deserve. And let's follow with our prayer for protection, which I believe is on the screen. Thank you, and I hope you'll join us for fellowship in the back. Thank you, music team. We're done.